Hello, good Tuesday afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Brain Buzz with Mike. I am your host and brain coach, Mike Harrigan, coming to you as usual live from the offices of the Braining Center in Leesburg, Virginia. So today's topic, we will discuss posture and the brain. So we all know, we've heard throughout our lives that we should stand up straight, keep our back straight, our head up, have good posture, right? And we've heard that it makes us look good and it's good for our look better and it's good for our various physical attributes, right? And there are a number of physical reasons why we should do that. It helps to keep our bones and our joints in alignment, puts less strain on our muscles and ligaments. It prevents our bones from rubbing together as much, which helps to stave off arthritis, helps to prevent backaches, and really good posture, strong posture throughout your life will help to minimize the chance that you'll have kind of a curvature in your back as you get older, right? So there's lots of good reasons why we should have strong posture. But here's one you may not have thought about. The next time you're feeling sad or depressed, I want you to kind of observe your posture. Are you slumped over? Are your shoulders curled forward and your neck curled forward? Is your head looking down? Chances are that's the way you're sitting. And you're sitting that way because you're sad or depressed. But you're also sad or depressed because you're sitting that way. Let that sink in for a second. So let's unpack it a little bit, right? So your brain, as we've always said, is many times, is a very complex system. Many describe it as the most complex system in the known universe. Billions of neurons are releasing chemical pulses that are releasing neurotransmitters, neurochemicals. And these neurochemicals are responsible for our actions and our thoughts, right? And so we have all this going on all the time. Well, one of the very important neurotransmitters that we produce in our brains is called serotonin. And it does a few things. One of the things it does is it actually enhances our mood. In fact, that's how antidepressants work. They're designed to increase our serotonin levels, and that makes us feel better. But another interesting thing that serotonin does is it actually affects us physically. It causes us to stand up straighter and taller and wider, spread out a little bit. It does it to animals in the animal kingdom as well as ourselves, right? That's a pretty interesting fact. But what's really interesting is the opposite is also true. Not only does serotonin cause us to stand up straighter, but our posture actually affects the neurotransmitters that are released in our brains. In fact, proper posture has been shown to activate what are called feel-good neurotransmitters. Those are the ones that make us feel happy and more energetic, and actually even reduce pain. Things like serotonin, dopamine, and some other ones. And so proper posture has been shown to enhance our mood, our motivation, our energy levels, to reduce stress levels, and actually even increase or enhance our decision-making capabilities. All of this by the release of various neurotransmitters in our brain. Okay, so let's do a mini recap here. So we know that serotonin gives us better posture. And we know that standing tall increases the serotonin levels, right? But the best part of all is that our brain doesn't even care why we're standing up straight and tall. So if we're feeling bad or sad and we force ourselves to stand up in a good, strong posture, it will actually activate the release of these feel-good neurotransmitters, which in turn will end up causing us to feel better and more confident and happier, right? So the next time you are feeling bad, you should go ahead and try that, right? In fact, there's a really good TED Talk about this topic by a woman named Amy Cuddill, and the name of the discussion on TED Talk is Fake It Till You Make It. And she recommends what she calls power posing. It's where you stand kind of like Superman. You stand up tall and straight, your chest up, shoulders back, hands at your side, head up, and do that for 2 or 3 minutes, for 2 or 3 minutes before an interview or a big test, or if you're just not feeling confident. And it'll actually activate those neurotransmitters and cause you to feel better. All right. So now let's do another recap here. So we know that posture is good for the body. It has all these physical benefits to us. We also know that posture activates these feel-good neurotransmitters, which makes us feel more confident, happier, and make better decisions. And it all goes back, right? So all of this goes back to, I think I may have, okay, so I am still going. My screen's going dead here, but I think we're still going live here. But this all goes back to what we call the brain-body connection, right? That the brain and body are inextricably linked, that what you do to one affects the other. And in fact, it's actually a constant feedback loop. As you do certain things, it affects changes in the brain. Those changes in the brain actually cause a reaction in the body. And that's what we're talking about here, right? We force ourselves to stand up straight. That causes the release of these serotonin and other feel-good neurotransmitters, which in turn cause us to stand up straight and powerful. So it's a constant feedback loop. And so this is something that we have talked about before. We're talking about here, and something we should always stay aware of. Next week, we're going to expand on this conversation about posture. We're going to discuss actually what are the characteristics of proper posture from a seated position and from a standing position. And we'll discuss ways that we can actually practice so that we will have proper posture even when we're not thinking about it. And I'll give you a little hint about it. It has to do with the power of forming habits. All right. So until then, I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, as usual, you can send them to me, Mike Harrigan, here at the Braining Center. The email address is brainingcenter@headstrong1.com. That's brainingcenter@headstrong1.com. Thanks again. And until then, have a great week.